Everybody's very excited for summer, and in just a few weeks, everyone in the community will be celebrating the 4th of July, celebrating our independence with barbecues, fun on the water, and of course, fireworks. But before you start setting off those sparks, it's important to remember some key fireworks safety tips and how to make sure your celebrations don't end with a trip to the hospital. Joining us now on the Splash Live is the manager of Phantom Fireworks in West Bloomfield, Rachel Dykes. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Always great to have you on, and I'm really curious to be getting into this conversation because I'm sure this is a very busy time of the year for you guys at Phantom Fireworks. What would you say are some of the top safety tips for families planning to use consumer fireworks at home?
So some of the biggest safety tips is to always make sure that you're clear of buildings, trees, vehicles. You want to have a safe distance between all of those items and spectators. You want to make sure that you're not wearing loose-fitting clothing while you're lighting them and protective eyewear. You also want to make sure that you have a designated sober adult to light fireworks and not let children handle fireworks. Fireworks are not, when kids handle fireworks, things can go wrong. So for this fireworks season, we have a fantastic line of light up items that kids can play with while adults are doing that, just to kind of help keep them preoccupied while doing that stuff.
All right, yes, great things for everybody to keep in mind. Things that I'm sure a lot of people are already aware of, but you never know. Some people might not have the state of mind to keep some of those things in check. And you talked about age restrictions for a lot of the fireworks. What age restrictions or supervision guidelines should parents keep in mind when children are around fireworks?
So nobody under the age of 18 should realistically be lighting or shooting off fireworks. We take ID just to maintain that standard safety that everybody who is shopping from us is of age and keeping safe with that. For supervision, parents need to keep an eye on their kids, even with stuff like sparklers. I know that it's very tempting to let them play with that stuff, but just make sure that you are keeping an eye because it only takes 1 second for something to go wrong.
You're absolutely right. And that makes me think, what are some of the most common injuries or accidents that occur during 4th of July celebrations that involve fireworks?
A lot of them come from just sparklers are one of the number one because they burn so hot, and burns tend to be the number one. So just make sure that you're keeping close supervision.
That's right. You don't want to get those burns on 4th of July. Those just sound like bad news any way you shape it. Now, what should people do if maybe a firework doesn't go off as expected or appears to be malfunctioning?
So if you light a firework and it does not go off, do not try to reignite it. Consider it a dud, douse it in water, soak it in water. Just don't try to redo it. Also, don't lean over a firework if you have tried to light it to look, because if it does decide to go off, then you're over top of it, and that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, I can already imagine the image from there. The fireworks not going off. Somebody's like, what's going on there? And then boom, tragedy happens, and then you're on your way to the hospital. So let's say the fireworks celebration is over. Everything's been lit up. Everything's exploded in the sky. What are the safest ways to dispose of used or unused fireworks after the celebration is over?
Always soak your fireworks in water. Soaking it in water neutralizes the explosive components in it so that it cannot reignite or stay burning. If you have any fireworks that you don't plan to use, like you didn't light them but you don't plan to use them again, you can also soak those in order to deactivate those explosive components.
Really interesting thing for everybody to keep in mind. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the manager of Phantom Fireworks in West Bloomfield, Rachel Dykes, talking about some very important fireworks safety tips to keep in mind as the 4th of July quickly approaches here in Greater West Bloomfield. Now, how can residents ensure that they are being considerate of maybe neighbors, pets, and maybe also some veterans who may be sensitive to the sound of fireworks?
The easiest way to just be considerate is go talk to your neighbors. We're all friends. We have to live side by side. Just have a conversation. When it comes to pets, get ahead of it now. Don't wait until the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of July to go to your vet and be like, hey, I need some stuff for my pet. Phantom Firework does carry CBD calming aids, and we are also going to have a line of products coming in this upcoming week that has like the compression jackets for pets as well. So just know that fireworks are legal starting June 29th through July 5th this year. So don't wait, get ahead of it now.
All right, yes, very important to keep on top of this stuff right now. And how can people protect their homes and nearby properties when setting off fireworks, maybe in some residential areas?
So fireworks should only be lit on private property. They should not be lit on public roadways or anything like that. The biggest way to protect your property and stuff like that is just be vigilant. If you see something going wrong, call 911 immediately. They are prepared for these emergencies to be able to help you.
All right, yes, very important things for everybody to keep in mind. Now, I am curious because I don't want this whole interview to be all this sad stuff and making it very serious and keeping it on safety, as I do want everyone to be very excited for 4th of July when it comes in just a few weeks. So I'm curious, Rachel, what are some of the most popular fireworks that residents are already looking at and considering for their own celebrations?
Fountains are a very, very popular one for people who might not necessarily have the largest property just because they are lower impact. They don't go up in the air. And then a lot of people like repeaters or cakes where you light it once and it does multiple shots. Those have been very popular as well. We carry them in a smaller 200-gram version and a 500-gram version.
Interesting. All really, really great options. I think I'm picturing the ones you're talking about. Those are always some of my favorites every single year. Do you have any personal recommendations for residents to take a look at? Maybe some fireworks that maybe people aren't always aware of?
So we actually were able to get a lot of new product in this year. And a lot of that stuff is very good. We have one called Pure Magic. It starts off as a fountain and then goes to a repeater. So we have a couple of combo items like that. We also have, I don't feel like people really look into it too much, but we have assortment packs that have a variety of things from aerial to ground stuff.
Awesome. All great fireworks for everybody to look into for this season. Rachel, I'm going to wrap things up quickly. Do you have any final advice for community members to enjoy a fun yet safe 4th of July celebration?
My final bit of advice would just be have fun, but keep your eyes open. Anything can happen in a split second. And so long as you're being mindful of those things, it can reduce any issues.
All right, wise words for everybody to remember. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you.